Welcome to Ask Aqua Alex. This is the fish keeper's question and answer. I, Aqua Alex Cardinale, look forward to answering any and all of your tropical fish keeping questions. I have been keeping fish since I was 12 years old. I have kept both freshwater and saltwater, so I have experience in both. Have fish keeping questions you want answered? Post them in the comments and I'll answer them on the show. Now on to Aqua Alex.
Hello, tropical fish keepers! Welcome to March 2023 Ask Aqua Alex Live. Welcome to the Fish Keepers Q&A, where I, Aqua Alex Cardinale, will answer any and all of your tropical fish keeping questions. This is going to be an amazing show to end your weekend. So, fish keepers, if you have any tropical fish questions that you want me to answer, simply post them in the comments and I will answer your questions. They can be freshwater questions or saltwater questions. I have kept both freshwater and saltwater, and I look forward to answering your questions. I'm broadcasting in front of my 125-gallon community large fish aquarium, and you're going to see some of my amazing fish today. So, on top of answering your questions, I also have some questions that were submitted to me earlier this month, and I'm also going to answer some questions from Facebook fish groups. On top of answering questions, I am going to talk about invasive fish species that live here in Florida. I'm going to talk about aquarium fish species that have become invasive here in Florida. I'm also going to talk about two of my favorite fish from South America. I'm going to talk about Pacus and different silver dollar species. I'm going to show off my 75-gallon grow out tank, and I'm also going to show off my 125-gallon monster aquarium as well. Also tonight, I am going to do a fish keeper show off, and for the first time in a little while on Ask Aqua Alex Live, I'm going to do Aqua Alex Reacts. So this is going to be a really fun show, and I think you're all going to enjoy this show. Thank you all for tuning in, whether you're watching it live or you're catching a replay of today's show. I greatly appreciate your view. So let's go ahead and get this show started with our first segment. All right, here is Aqua Alex Asks You for March 2023. Remember, you can post your answers in the comments. What is your favorite aquarium filter and why? If you could be a fish, what fish would you want to be? And finally, your thoughts on hybrid fish like blood parrots. Post your answers in the comments, and later in the show, I'll go over your answers. And also, if you're catching a replay of today's show, post your questions in the comments, and I will still answer your questions. So to begin today's episode, I'm going to go ahead and answer these questions. What is my favorite aquarium filter and why? After some careful thought, my favorite aquarium filter is the C.A.C.E Tidal Hang on the Back filter. The C.A.C.E Tidal Hang on the Back filter, in my experience and my opinion, is the best filter on the market. I have to get one for my 125 as well as my 75-gallon as well as my 55-gallon because I feel the C.A.C.E Tidal will help keep my water crystal clear. When I lived in Massachusetts, I used C-Chem tidal filters, and they were absolutely amazing. I had no water quality problems, and I cleaned my filter every 3 or 4 months, and it was spick and span. It was amazing. So my favorite aquarium filter is the C-Chem Tidal power filters or hang on the back filters, whatever you want to call it. I also like the Fluval FX6 and FX4. However, I really don't know how to clean it, so I'm intimidated by it. Now, if I could be a fish, what fish would I want to be? That's a hard question for me to answer because there's a lot of fish species out there that I love. So, some of my favorite fish species include Oscar cichlid, silver arowana, tiger shovelnose, and pacu. So, if I had to answer this question, I would love to be an Oscar cichlid because Oscars have amazing personality, just like me. I'd love to be a silver arowana because in the wild, these guys are really cool. They like to jump on branches and eat insects and stuff. I'd love to be a pacu or a tambaki because they get fresh nuts and fruit in the wild, and they're very adorable. And I'd like to be a tiger shovelnose because they're a very cool catfish and a force to be reckoned with in the aquarium hobby. And lastly, my thoughts on hybrid fish like blood parrots and flowerhorn. I am not a fan of these man-made fish. There is a plethora of reasons that I'm not a fan of flowerhorn and blood parrots, but one of the biggest reasons I'm not a fan of flowerhorns or blood parrots is because they are man-made fish. They have internal organ damage. They don't have a long life expectancy, and they're just not natural fish. You will not find a flowerhorn or a blood parrot naturally in any river or lake around the world. So I am not a fan of these genetically modified beasts because that's what they are. Flowerhorns and blood parrots are genetically modified beasts. They don't belong living, in my opinion. These are just fish that were thrown together to allow it to breed and create mutations of a fish. And the mutations of a fish have a lot of deformities, including not being able to eat right, short life expectancy, and all those other things. It's just cruel to create fish like that. And they also have big humps on their head called cocks, which makes it uncontrollable. They can't swim because of those things on their head. So it's torture to fish to create hybrids like that. But that is just my personal opinion. And some people aren't going to agree with it. But hey, that is A-OK. All right. So while I wait for your questions to come in and while I wait for your answers to come into my questions, I'm going to go ahead and answer the questions that were sent to me earlier this month. So Kevin sent in 2 questions, and Kevin wants to know, why are saltwater fish more expensive than freshwater fish? And as I thought about the answer to this question, I realized this is a really good question because saltwater fish are more expensive than freshwater fish. If you go to any fish store and you go to the freshwater fish section, then you go to the saltwater fish section, you're going to see a huge difference in price. And sometimes it can be mind-boggling. But here is my reasons for why I think saltwater fish are more expensive than freshwater fish. Availability of saltwater fish. Most saltwater fish are wild caught. Actually, a huge percentage of saltwater fish are wild caught. Up to 95% of marine fish for the saltwater hobby are wild caught. Although ORA has captive bred clownfish and tangs and other saltwater fish, there's still a huge portion of fish that are coming in from our oceans all over the world. So sometimes it's going to be hard to get a certain fish. And when that fish is available, it's going to be very expensive because of availability. Also, some fish can be really rare in the saltwater hobby. Why are they rare? Well, these fish may not be rare in the wild. They can be found in the wild, but they can be rare in the aquarium trade because they are so difficult to catch in the wild. This can be due to their location and the depths that they live. If a fish lives in deep waters and hides in small caves, holes, and amongst corals, they're going to be difficult to capture. So the fishermen that go and collect the saltwater fish are going to have to work double overtime to try and catch these fish that are rare. Hence, the price will be very, very high, unfortunately. Now, when I say unfortunately, this next reason can also be why some saltwater fish are very expensive. Some saltwater fish are fragile and have high mortality rates upon import. So fish stores, unfortunately, will jack prices up on those that come in healthy and are surviving to make up for the loss. For example, blonde naso tangs, fox-faced rabbitfish, powder brown tangs, powder blue tangs. The blonde naso, the powder blue and brown tangs, they have extremely high mortality rates and are very fragile, and they often die when they're imported. So that's why they're going to be very expensive. The ones that are healthy and come in surviving and thriving, you're going to pay a lot for them. Fox-faced rabbitfish, the reason I gave that example, they're a more hardy species, but it's hard to catch them sometimes because they live so far in the wilds and they like to hide amongst the crevices. But when they do come in, there is a lot of them that comes in, and their price will be anywhere from $40 to $80 depending on the size. So Kevin, I must say that was an amazing question. Kevin's next question is this one. What are some of the most expensive fish in freshwater? And again, I had to think long and hard about this because most people are going to have a different answer when it comes to expensive fish in freshwater. But here is my answer. Asian arowanas are definitely at the top of the list. They're probably the most expensive freshwater fish. Then you have the black arowana and you have the Jardini arowana. Those are very expensive when it comes to arowanas. Then the most expensive catfish, in my opinion, is the Tigrinus catfish. That is the crown jewel of monster catfish, in my opinion. And they're very expensive because they're beautiful. And they're kind of fragile as well. And then there are freshwater stingrays. The freshwater stingrays are expensive. Datnoids and discus can also be expensive as well. And finally, the last question that was submitted to me from Jessica is this. Have you ever considered keeping axolotls? I know that you have recently started keeping goldfish as you claim to have never had goldfish. Congratulations on keeping goldfish. Thank you, Jessica. But I think you would really enjoy axolotls. So what are your thoughts of potentially keeping axolotls in the future? You know, axolotls are actually a pretty interesting aquatic animal. You know, when I worked at the Palm Beach Zoo and I saw axolotls every day, there was thoughts going through my head, what if I can keep them at home? The only thing about that is axolotls probably are a species-only tank. So I don't know if I could do that, but I probably will in the future. I mean, I do love the look of axolotls. Axolotls are absolutely amazing looking, and they're a pretty cool aquatic species. I see them all the time in my local fish stores, so it's not a matter of if I will keep axolotls, it's a matter of when I will keep axolotls because I do like them. They're very cool, and they're probably the only reptile or amphibian that I would ever be allowed to keep And I would love to have snakes and all, but my mom hates them. So the only reptile that I would probably, or amphibian that I'd probably be able to keep would be an axolotl or an African clawed frog. And that was your second part of the question. Would you ever consider keeping aquatic frogs? Yes. African clawed frogs I would love to keep. They can actually live with fish because they eat fish, but you can keep them with larger growing fish as well. So thank you, Kevin and Jessica, for your questions that you submitted earlier this month. So for those of you that are watching, feel free to post questions in the comments and I will answer your questions. Whether you're watching me live or you're catching a replay of this show, it don't matter. You got questions, I got answers. So post them in the comments below. All right, let's get to our first topic of the evening. And I want to talk about aquarium fish species that have become invasive here in Florida. These fish species are living and thriving in the Everglades and all over South Florida, partially because of aquarium releases. Some of these fish got too big for people's aquariums and they released them into the wild. Some of them could be zoos and aquariums like the New England Aquarium accidentally releasing it into the wild. And I said the New England Aquarium as an example. Obviously, New England is far from Florida. But these are invasive fish species that are calling Florida home. Up first, we've got Oscar cichlids. And you guys know I love Oscar cichlids so much. But Florida is home to Oscar cichlids. There are a plethora of Oscars here in Florida. There are so many Oscars that if you are looking for a decent sized Oscar, you don't have to go to your fish store to get one. You can just go to a local canal or river here in Florida and fish yourself a feral tiger Oscar. But the tiger Oscars that are here in Florida are absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. And if you were to get one from the wild in Florida, I would seriously recommend quarantining it because it's in the wild and you never know what parasites are in that water. You've got alligators and crocodiles and aquatic snakes that are shitting in that water. So whatever parasites and diseases that reptiles carry can carry on to the fish, as well as ducks and aquatic birds. So you'd want to quarantine your Oscar if you ever catch one here in Florida. Up next, and this is one of my favorite monster fish, but unfortunately it has called Florida a home, and that is the clown knife fish. This fish is actually thriving here, and a lot of people try to catch them and remove them because there are so many of them. The clown knife is a really cool fish to go fishing for, or so I've heard. They put up a good fight, and because they get to a huge size, I'm sure it's a massive struggle trying to reel in a clown knife. They're found under driftwood here in Florida, but they get so big, and they probably were aquarium releases. They love the warm temperature here in Florida, and they started spawning, and now we're overloaded with clown knives in our waters. Amphilophus. We've got red devils. We've got Midas. We got my devils here in our Florida waters. Again, they love the tropical temperatures, so they're spawning and they're reproducing, and now we're overloaded with them. Very beautiful fish, but again, they belong to Central America, so these guys were probably released into our waters, and now they're causing havoc. Then we've got the Parachromis maniguense, aka the jaguar cichlid. Another Central American cichlid that loves tropical temperatures is thriving here in South Florida and is causing havoc, and they're reproducing and they're surviving here. And then one of my favorite fish, unfortunately, is an invasive species here in Florida, but they're also invasive in other parts of the country and other parts of the world as well. The red-bellied pacu comes from South America, Amazon River, and they can handle tropical temperatures really well, so they thrive here in South Florida. And then there is the brown hopalo catfish. The armored catfish is thriving here in Florida. Some other fish species that are invasive and that are thriving here in South Florida include red-tail catfish, tiger shovelnose, plecos, Salvini cichlids, tilapia, snakeheads. Snakeheads are infamous here in Florida and other parts of the country as well. Walking catfish, and on the saltwater side, lionfish are extremely invasive here in South Florida. That's right, South Florida oceans are loaded with Valentine's lionfish. You know what? I love lionfish, and we're loaded with them in Florida. People actually go fishing for lionfish and they kill them because there are just so many lionfish in our oceans here in Florida that they become a nuisance and they're invasive. They actually have lionfish hunting contests and competitions where you'll win money by catching a lionfish. It's a shame that people have released lionfish into our oceans. So those are some invasive species that are living here in Florida. I'm sure there are more. I'm sure we'll find arowanas someday. I'm sure we'll find some other monster fish from the aquarium hobby in our waters as well. All right. So for the first time on Ask Aqua Alex, I'm going to show off my aquariums. It's the Aqua Alex Fish Keeper show off. Today I'm going to show off my 75-gallon mixed grow out tank, and then I'm going to show off my 125-gallon aquarium a little later on in the show. But right now I'm going to show off my 75-gallon aquarium. So enjoy a video of my 75-gallon aquarium right here. Here is a video of my 75-gallon grow out aquarium. I am currently growing out some fish for my pond that I am going to be setting up pretty soon. I've got some pretty cool fish in here. I've got this beautiful Shabunkin goldfish right here, one of my all-time favorite goldfish. And then I've got some comet goldfish that I'm growing out, but this guy is beautiful, the Shabunkin goldfish. Then I've got a regular iridescent shark, and I've got some albino iridescent sharks that I'm growing out for the pond as well. And then there are some Corydoris in here, Brocious cory cats. There's a couple of clown loaches and some red-tail botia. The loaches are going to be permanent residents in this tank, as well as the Corydoris. And they're going to love this tank. So that was my 75-gallon grow out aquarium. Here is a cool fish that I'm growing out in my 75-gallon aquarium. Here is my beautiful baby black pacu that I'm growing out from my pond. Very, very beautiful. Yes, that's right. I found a black pacu. They are extremely rare. And when I saw him, I had to get him. And he will be eventually going into my pond that I am going to have. So that was my 75-gallon grow out tank. And later on in the show, I will show you the tank behind me, my 125-gallon aquarium. All right, so right now I'm going to go ahead and answer some social media questions. Some questions that I saw on Facebook fish groups. So here is the first question, and the question comes from Robert Gonzalez on the Facebook fish group Cichlid Keepers. Robert says, I'm just starting my aquarium. I currently have 2 electric blue acaras, 2 firemouth, and a convict cichlid. Will a jewel cichlid be a bad idea to add to an aquarium? Now, we must remember that each cichlid and each fish have their own unique personality. Generally speaking, electric blue acaras are a more docile cichlid, while firemouth and convicts are a more semi-aggressive cichlid. The electric blue acara comes from South America, and the firemouth and convict comes from Central America, but the jewel cichlid comes from an entirely different country, and it comes from Africa. So when you think of South America, Central America, and Africa, not only are we thinking about different water parameters, but we're also thinking about different temperaments. Most cichlids that come from Africa are extremely aggressive. I'm not sure why cichlids from Africa are so aggressive, but they are. Also, cichlids from Africa are extremely colorful. And in my experience, I found the more colorful the fish, the more aggressive they are. So unfortunately, yes, I do think a jewel cichlid would be a bad idea to add to this aquarium because their aggression is going to outmatch your other cichlids in that aquarium. Jewels can be very, very aggressive, especially during breeding. So when they're breeding, they get dominant and they can kill other fish. So unfortunately, I don't think a jewel cichlid would work in your aquarium. They are a beautiful fish. When I was a kid, I had a 20-gallon long, and I kept some jewel cichlids in there, and I loved them. So they're great for a single species aquarium. So the next question comes from Brandon King, and Brandon and I are actually friends. I've known him for several years on social media. And this question is from Facebook fish group Fish Tank Addicts. And Brandon's question is, I have 5 Serpae tetras in my 135-gallon aquarium. My grandma won't stop bugging me to get more, and I'm tempted. Should I get 5 black skirt tetras, or should I just get 5 more Serpae tetras? Well, my answer to this question is quite simple. Get both. Get 5 more Serpae and get 5 black skirts. You could also get 10 black skirts. Both species of tetra are schooling tetras, and they appreciate the company of other tetras. So I'd say get both. And finally, we've got Brian Morse. And this question is also from Fish Tank Addicts. And this question is it normal for driftwood to turn water brown? Unfortunately, yes, because my water was brown because of driftwood, and I just did a water change today. Driftwood releases tannins in your water. So as the tannins release, it turns your water brown, and I know it makes your water hideous. What you can do is continue doing water changes, maybe 25% every other day. And also use water clarifier in between those water changes, and your water should clear up, not instantly, but within a few days your water should clear up when you're doing water changes and the water clarifier after you have added a driftwood. Now, the problem with driftwood is once you add it to an aquarium, it's going to start leaking out tannins if you haven't properly bleached it. And properly bleaching it means letting it sit in water or boiling it. And that is something that I learned that I have to do. I have to bleach my driftwood because next time I won't have to deal with brown water like that in the aquarium behind me. So those were the social media questions. All right, it's time for a segment that I haven't done on Ask Aqua Alex Live in quite some time. All right, Aqua Alex reacts. Today I'm going to react to something I saw on Facebook a little bit earlier, and that is fish keeper drama. It seems there's a lot of drama with African cichlid keepers. African cichlid keepers like to go back and forth about who has the biggest African cichlid, who has the biggest pee-pee, it seems like. That's all I can say about that. African cichlid keepers love fighting with each other, and they love the unnecessary drama. And I noticed it's been people that sell African cichlids. They seem to be the worst. Some of them are arguing over, oh, this African cichlid looks better than my competitors. I'm cheaper than my competitors. There really is no need to argue about aquarium fish. I very rarely ever see South American fish keepers, Central American, or even American native fish keepers argue as much as African cichlid keepers do. I don't know what it is about Africans. I mean, the African cichlid fish themselves are very aggressive, and now their fish keepers are very aggressive as well. It's very, very interesting, to say the least. It's also very unique and entertaining. Sometimes I like to go on these Facebook fish groups and I'll read some threads about African cichlids, and I'll watch the people in the comments banter and bicker and fight each other and call each other names and threaten each other. It's actually quite hysterical. Sometimes I'll grab my good old Coca-Cola and some popcorn and laugh at these people fighting each other over tropical fish. It's quite hysterical, actually, sometimes. So that is Aqua Alex Reacts for this month's edition of Ask Aqua Alex Live. All right, right now we're going to go ahead and take our intermission, which is being brought to you by our supporters. My dear friend, Jeremy Stellhorn, founded Little Egypt Aquarium Club for fish keepers like myself and all of you. Little Egypt Aquarium Club has quality aquarium supplies like filters, filter media, driftwood, rapashi, and more. Pretty soon I'm going to have some aquarium supplies to review from Little Egypt. That'll be coming up in the near future. But remember, you can save 10% off any order with Little Egypt Aquarium Club by using coupon code ALEX, and you will save 10% on your order by using coupon code ALEX. When I come back, I'm going to talk about Pacus and Silver Dollars. I'm going to do the Fish Keeper show off, and I'm going to show off my 125-gallon aquarium. The Fish Keepers Q&A continues right after this, so don't go anywhere, Fish Keepers.
Are you a tropical fish keeper living in South Florida? You need to check out Aquatic and Exotic in Stuart, Florida. Aquatic and Exotic is home to quality freshwater and saltwater tropical fish. You will find African cichlids, South and Central American cichlids, goldfish and koi, and exotic fish. We also supply aquarium supplies like filters and heaters, aquariums, and lights. We also have quality fish food brands. Aquatic and Exotic is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Questions? Give us a call at 772-781-4046. Stop on by and check us out. 1525 S.E. Lockhart Street, Stuart, Florida 34994.
Hey fish keepers, Aqua Alex Cardinale here. Proud to announce that I am partnering with Little Egypt Aquarium Club, founded by tropical fish keeper Jeremy Stellhorn from Redbud, Illinois. Little Egypt Aquarium Club supplies aquarium hobbyists all across the United States with quality aquarium supplies. At Little Egypt Aquarium Club, you will find rapashi, a really good fish food. You'll also find freeze-dried foods, medicated foods, pellets and wafers for your fish, breeding supplies, driftwood, filters, and so much more. Little Egypt Aquarium Club is operated by fish keepers such as Aqua Alex and Jeremy Stellhorn for fish keepers like yourself. You'll get free shipping on orders over $200. And don't forget, you can save money with Aqua Alex. You'll get 10% off your order by using coupon code ALEX. That's right, fish keepers. Bruno, my tiger Oscar behind me, and Aqua Alex want to save you 10%. Use coupon code ALEX to get 10% off your order. Go to littleegyptaquariumclub.com after the show. Happy fish keeping, and go check out Little Egypt Aquarium Club after the show. Welcome back to Ask Aqua Alex Live, March 2023. We are having an amazing show so far. If you're just tuning in now, fish keepers, feel free to post any tropical fish keeping questions in the comments, and I will gladly answer them. And here is the Aqua Alex Asks You for March 2023. Post your answers in the comments. What is your favorite aquarium filter and why? If you could be a fish, what fish would you want to be? And your thoughts on hybrid fish like blood parrots. Post your answers in the comments down below, and I'll look forward to your answers, and also post any questions that you have in the comments below. You know, a long time ago, when I was young, I used to be known as Pacu Boy. And the reason I was known as Pacu Boy was because I loved Pacu. And I still do love Pacu. Pacu are one of my all-time favorite fish. The red-bellied Pacu is an absolutely adorable fish, in my opinion. And I also like silver dollars. My actual favorite group of silver dollars is those of the Mylius family. That includes the black bar silver dollars and the red hook silver dollars. Most people, when they think of cerasomidide fish, they think of piranhas. But to me, Pacu and silver dollars are much better than piranhas, because in reality, piranhas are not those fierce monsters that people make them out to be. In the home aquarium, they are actually very skittish, and they are not ferocious at all. In the wild, they only get like that when they are starved. But the Pacu and silver dollar, they're a very cool fish because they have unique personalities, and they are also omnivorous, which means they eat both meat and plant matter as well. So let's look at the different species of Pacus and silver dollar that I really, really like. Up first, we've got the red belly Pacus. This is a very gorgeous fish. It is one of the smaller Pacus, but it's also one of the larger Pacus as well. The red belly Pacus can reach a size of about 2.5 to 3 feet. That is a really large Pacus. Most aquarium hobbyists cannot provide an aquarium big enough for a red belly Pacus. Now, one of my lifelong dreams was to create a pond so that I can house Pacus and some of the other fish that I like. And I'm very, very pleased to say that in the future, I will be having a pond. In the very near future, I will have a pond for my Pacus and my other monster fish. The red belly Pacus is cool in the fact that it'll eat fruit, vegetables, shrimp, tilapia, and other meaty foods. They're very hardy and they're very easy to keep. Very, very cool little vegetarian piranha, except for the fact that they are not vegetarians. And then we've got the black Pacus, which is known as the tambaqui. Now, the black Pacus is actually much prettier than the red belly Pacus, in my opinion. At least in my opinion, the black Pacus is a little bit more adorable than the red belly Pacus, but I love both of them equally. I love the red belly Pacus and I love the black Pacus. And I was very fortunate to get a juvenile black Pacus, as you saw earlier in the show. These guys are rare, and they're rare for a good reason. They get way too big for most people to house. But because I knew that I was creating a pool pond and I already have a Pacus, and Pacus are a schooling fish, I figured it'd be cool to have a red belly and a black Pacus together. Black Pacus care is the same as red belly Pacus, except black Pacus get twice the size of red belly Pacus, and they're also known as tambaqui. They are the largest cherisin, the largest tetra in the world. They can weigh several pounds. They could probably weigh up to 30 pounds, and they love nuts and fruit. They have the mouth to chew nuts and fruit. Now, I want to take a look at the red belly Pacus picture in a second here, because on the black Pacus, you can see some what looks like nostrils above their eye. I don't know if the red belly Pacus has that. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, the red belly Pacus does. But one difference you can note between the red belly Pacus and the black Pacus, the red belly Pacus is a little bit slimmer, whereas the black Pacus is more chunky, like me. Hee. I'm just kidding. But the black Pacus is more chunky than the red belly Pacus. So I actually, you saw a video of my black Pacus earlier. Now let's see a video of my red belly Pacus that I took yesterday. And the water is brown because of the driftwood that was in there. But today I did a water change. And in a few minutes, you're going to see that my tank is a little bit clear. But here's a video of my red belly Pacus that I took yesterday. All right, that is my amazing red belly Pacus that I got last Sunday from Mark's Ark. So right now, let's talk about a couple of silver dollar species that I like. Up first, we've got the wide bar silver dollar, which I have 5 of, or wait a minute, I think I have 4 of. 4 of them in the 125 behind me, and they're almost as big as my red belly Pacus. I mean, they're almost identical in size. And I got these guys in 2021 and 2022, so they've put on some size. These are a very large growing silver dollar, which makes them perfect for Oscar aquariums and other predatory aquariums, as well. They will do well with other large growing fish. And they're a fish that I recommend that other fish keepers should keep. When people think of silver dollars, they think of Mentinus and red hooks. And I love red hooks and Mentinus, but the black bars should have some more respect. Now, the thin bar silver dollar is another amazing silver dollar, another amazing black bar, but they stay a little bit smaller than the wide bar silver dollar. The wide bar silver dollar can grow to be about 12, 16 inches, but the thin bar silver dollar stays a little bit smaller. And then obviously we've got the red hook silver dollar. I raised red hooks for many years, and they always have a special place in my heart. I had a big group of them in my 125. They just get really large really quick, and some of them can be skittish sometimes. So I rehomed all of my red hooks to my friend Daryl, and all of my red hooks are in good hands in Daryl's 150. These guys are very beautiful. They get red spots and orange color as they mature, and I love their intense red on their fins. Very, very beautiful fish. Now, I could talk about Pacus and silver dollars for hours upon hours upon hours, because I love these guys so much, and they're such a unique fish. And I'm sure over the next coming months, as my red belly Pacu, my black Pacu grows, and as I move them into their pond, we will talk more and more about them. It's going to be something really fun and interesting. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, American Alex Cardinale, to see that, because the present for my 30th birthday this year is going to be a pool pond. And 30 years is a big year to celebrate, and I think a pool pond is a perfect way to celebrate my 30th birthday this year. All right. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and show off my 125-gallon aquarium. It's been a long time since I've shown my 125-gallon aquarium to you guys here on YouTube. So today, I'm going to show you my 125-gallon aquarium. I'm going to show you the updates that I did to the aquarium, and I'm going to show you some of the new fish that I got in my 125-gallon aquarium. So enjoy this 5-minute video that I took just before I went live of my 125-gallon monster aquarium. It's time for a long-awaited update on my 125-gallon aquarium. I've added a couple of new fish, and I've also removed a couple of fish. But all the fish are doing great, and a lot of them have put on some decent size. I am really happy with my 125-gallon aquarium. So right now, I'm going to spotlight some of the fish in the 125-gallon aquarium for you. So enjoy the 125-gallon aquarium update here on the March 2023 Fish Keepers Q&A. So one of the new things that I've added to the 125 are my Geophagus abalos. They have finally grown large enough to go in the 125, and they love it in here, and they look amazing in this aquarium, I must say, for myself. There's my pike cichlid. My chocolates are doing good. And I've also added this guy. This is a tiger shovel-nosed catfish that I'm growing out from my pond, my pool pond that I'm going to create for my Pacu, the tiger shovel-nose, the Niger cat, and a couple of other fish. Here are my lineless shovel-nose. They are doing incredibly well as well. My Asian upside-down cat I got last year. My 4-line pictus. And another new fish is this monster right here. This is a red belly Pacu that I'm going to be growing out to go into my pool pond as well. I saw him in the trade-in tank at Mark's Ark, and I had to have him because you guys know I love Pacus. And I'm going to be setting up a huge 18-foot pool pond that this Pacus, the tiger shovelnose, and a couple other fish are going to be going in. So they're going to do great in there. And then, of course, I had some gouramis, as you guys know. I ended up putting them in here because I set up goldfish in my 75 and my 55, and they're doing good in here. So everyone is doing great. But eventually I'll probably find a home for the gouramis. And also I had to put this orange koi in here because he was killing my shabumpkins. He killed 2 of the shabumpkins, and he was going after baby iridescent sharks that I'm growing out for the pond. So he adds a spark of color to this tank. Sorry, I just got done doing a water change, so it's not going to be the best quality video. But they're all active. The koi is very beautiful. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video of my 125. Wow, those threadfin acaras are absolutely beautiful, aren't they? As well as my silver dollars and all the fish that you saw in my 125-gallon aquarium. All right, it's time for our final segment tonight, and it's time for the Fish Keepers Show-Off. Now we're going to see some of my friend Daryl Short's amazing fish. Here are videos of my friend Daryl's aquariums. Wow, Daryl has all my vulture cats and all my red hooks, and they all look amazing in that aquarium. And that arowana is massive now. That's his amazing pond, and here's the last video. As always, my friend Daryl has some amazing fish. All right, fish keepers, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ask Aqua Alex Live, March 2023. Again, if you are tuning in now, you You can post your questions in the comments, and I will respond to them in the comments as well. Make sure to tune in to the April 2023 Fish Keepers Q&A next month. That's going to be equally as good as this one. And I have an announcement to make before I go. My friend, Little Egypt Aquarium Club founder Jeremy Stellhorn, and I are going to be hosting a show, a fish keeping show between two friends and two fish keepers. It's going to be a laid back, no script, no rules kind of show, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to debut sometime in April, so stay tuned for that. So fish keepers, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, American Alex Cardinale, to catch that. Have a great rest of your weekend, fish keepers, and remember, feed your fish quality fish food and do your water changes. Have a great night, everybody.
Easter is quickly approaching. Happy Easter, everyone. This is Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, and I'm inviting you to tune in and watch the Easter 2023 Bash live on Friday, April 7, 2023 at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be an extra good show on Good Friday. It is airing on my YouTube channel American Alex Cardinale. Also joining Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale will be Chef Alex, Aqua Alex, and Detective Alex. Chef Alex will have Easter dinner tips and recipes. Get your last-minute Easter dinner and dessert questions answered as well if you post questions in the comments. Aqua Alex will discuss tropical fish species that represent Easter. Detective Alex Cardinale will break down 2 crimes that happened on Easter. Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale will discuss bunnies and other Easter-themed topics. Plus, watch Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale paint some Easter eggs and frost some Easter sugar cookies. It all goes down live Friday, April 7, 2023 at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on YouTube channel American Alex Cardinale. Happy Easter!